A truck is speeding along. Its brakes fail. A woman is walking her dog, oblivious to the danger. Rick throws himself at her. The impact is incredibly violent. A cloud of dust rises. The truck is crushed. Rick is unharmed. The crowd freezes. Rick turns slowly, a proud smile on his lips. You see a runaway truck barreling toward an innocent woman. You don't think. You dive. You take the hit head on. The dust settles. The truck is completely crushed, and you don't have a single scratch. The crowd is absolutely speechless. You are a god, a hero. You turn around to check on the woman you just saved. What you don't know yet is that your new super strength is completely out of control, and you just pushed her directly into a wood chipper. Welcome to the absurd life of Rick Riker. He desperately wants to save the world. But honestly, the world might actually need saving from him. Before the superpowers, Rick's life was a complete joke. He is the invisible boy. The kid who chases the school bus every morning finally gets on and realizes no one will even let him sit down. His only reason to breathe? Jill Johnson. He is completely obsessed with her. But to her, he is just background noise. During a school trip to an animal research center, Rick tries to play it cool. He wants to take a picture of Jill. He completely ignores the massive no flash warning sign. He takes the shot. The flash goes off. It blinds a rare bird. The bird instantly catches fire. Panic breaks out. Rick tries to fix his mistake by stomping on the flaming bird. Instead, the bird escapes and flies directly into Lawrence, Jill's massive, aggressive boyfriend. Lawrence is furious. He shoves Rick with all his might. Rick flies backward and lands face first into a giant pile of animal waste. The humiliation is absolute. The entire class is laughing. Desperate to clean the filth off his face, Rick grabs a nearby water jug and pours it all over himself. But it isn't water. It's an experimental chemical solution. A highly concentrated pheromone designed to attract male animals in heat. Within seconds, absolute chaos erupts. Animals from every single cage break out and charge at him. They jump on him. They grab his legs. His best friend Trey doesn't even try to help. He just pulls out his phone to record it for YouTube. And in the middle of this absolute nightmare, a genetically modified radioactive dragonfly lands right on Rick's neck and bites him. Rick goes home, throws up directly into his uncle's fish tank, and collapses on his bed. The venom is already rewriting his DNA. The next morning, Rick wakes up, but he is no longer human. At a special school assembly, the world-famous scientist Stephen Hawking is giving an inspiring speech. Everyone is listening. But Rick is distracted. His body is reacting violently to his new powers. He accidentally bumps into Lawrence again in the hallway. Rick tries to pull his hand away, but it is super glued to a nearby sink. He pulls. He panics. He pulls with superhuman strength. The entire sink rips out of the wall, pipes and all, and crashes directly onto Lawrence's head. Furious, Lawrence charges. Rick runs for his life. While escaping, Rick collides with a heavyset man. This time, both of Rick's hands stick flat to the man's chest. Rick struggles. The man screams. Rick pulls backward with everything he has. He breaks free, but he literally rips the man's clothes entirely off his body in front of the whole school. Terrified by what he has become, Rick runs outside. He touches a brick wall. His hand sticks perfectly. He starts climbing the building, crawling effortlessly up the concrete. He realizes the terrifying truth. He is a superhuman. To test his new invulnerability at home, his uncle suddenly stabs him with a kitchen knife. The blade bends completely flat against Rick's skin, not a single scratch. But with great power comes a really tragic, yet ridiculous backstory. Years ago, Rick's parents were attacked in a dark alley. Young Rick tried to save them, But in the chaos, his clumsy actions accidentally caused the robbers to shoot them. As his father lay dying on the pavement, bleeding out, he handed Rick a simple ring. In a moment of frustration, Rick throws the ring away into the night. But the ring defies gravity. It flies right back and smacks him in the hand. Destiny is calling. He needs to learn how to control this curse. Rick knows he needs a mentor. He searches the internet and finds Professor Xavier's secret school for gifted children, a hidden mansion where telepaths and flying humans live in peace. The professor introduces Rick to his wife. She is holding what looks like a baby doll. Suddenly, the baby raises its tiny hand and violently throws the professor across the entire room. Super strength runs in the family. Mrs. Xavier scolds Rick for showing up on his first day without a superhero costume. So Rick goes to work. He designs a green armor with a massive Dragonfly logo on the chest. The Dragonfly is officially born. For his very first night patrol, Rick climbs to the top of the highest skyscraper. He poses, looking over the city. But suddenly, another superhero walks up behind him. A guy in an orange suit who looks exactly like the Human Torch. The guy looks at Rick and says, "Hey, this is usually my spot. I sit here every day." Rick awkwardly shuffles over and says, "We can share?" They just stand there, side by side, looking at the city in complete, uncomfortable silence. The superhero life isn't as glamorous as the movies make it seem. The next morning, Rick tries to get a normal job to make some money. He goes to a corporate job interview, but he doesn't wear a suit and tie. He shows up in his full, skin-tight green spandex superhero costume. He proudly slides photos of himself fighting crime across the desk. The HR manager stares at him, completely unamused, and instantly rejects him. But a hero is nothing without a supervillain. Meet Uncle Lou, Lawrence's uncle, and a powerful billionaire. Lou is dying of an incurable disease, but he refuses to accept death. Inside a secret lab, he has built a forbidden, highly unstable machine. He steps inside. The scientists laugh at him, thinking it's a massive failure. Lou grabs one of the scientists by the wrist. In seconds, he drains the man's entire life energy. The scientist drops dead. Lou realizes the terrifying truth. If he steals the lives of others, he will live forever. He puts on a silver armor. The supervillain Hourglass is born. Meanwhile, Rick is trying his best to be a hero. He sees a bank robbery in progress. The robbers are trying to escape with bags of cash, but the bank doors are locked. Rick has the power to stop them. What does he do? He walks up, politely opens the door from the outside, and holds it open so the robbers can run away easily. He is a disaster. But during one of his clumsy fights with Hourglass, his hand gets sliced by a titanium blade. That very evening, Rick's aunt hosts a dinner party. Jill, Lawrence, and Uncle Lou are all invited. Rick sits at the table in his normal clothes, but Lou notices the fresh bandage on Rick's hand. He asks what happened. Rick lies and says he got into a fight. Lou stares at the cut. He recognizes the exact shape of the wound. It matches his titanium blades perfectly. The mask falls. The silence at the dinner table is suffocating. Lou knows the awkward teenager sitting across from him is his greatest enemy. Lou doesn't wait. He attacks right there in the house. Rick tries to fight back to protect his family, but he trips over his own feet and knocks himself out cold. When he wakes up, the house is destroyed, and his beloved aunt is dead, killed by Hourglass. Rick rushes to the hospital to break the tragic news to his uncle, who is in critical condition. The doctors warn Rick, "Your uncle's heart is very weak. Any sudden shock or bad news will kill him instantly." Rick nods, preparing to break the news gently. But suddenly, another careless doctor bursts into the room and yells at the top of his lungs, "Hey, your wife is dead!" The uncle's heart monitor instantly flatlines. It's tragic, it's ridiculous, and it breaks Rick completely. Rick sits at home, depressed and ready to quit, but his uncle, who miraculously survived the heart attack, hands him back his father's ring. "Superheroes don't give up," he says. "Hourglass is planning a mass murder today. You are the only one who can stop him." A news report flashes on the TV. A massive convention is happening downtown. Thousands of people packed into one building. The perfect feeding ground for Hourglass, who needs exactly 47,000 souls to become completely immortal. Rick arrives at the convention in his Dragonfly suit. He finds Uncle Lou in his normal clothes and asks him, "Where's the supervillain?" Lou, playing innocent, points directly at the stage. "Right there. That's the supervillain." Rick looks. It's a peaceful monk in orange robes. It is literally the Dalai Lama. Rick doesn't question it. He charges the stage and fiercely tackles the Dalai Lama to the ground in front of thousands of screaming people. Taking advantage of Rick's absolute stupidity, Lou slips away, puts on his silver armor, and activates his giant life-draining machine. The real battle finally begins. Lou is at the peak of his power. He brings the entire concrete roof crashing down on Rick. Rick pushes the rubble off his chest, but Lou unleashes a storm of razor-sharp titanium blades. Rick is trapped. The blades are inches away, but suddenly, Jill runs forward. She has fallen in love with the Dragonfly, and she throws herself in front of the blades to save him. She falls to the ground, bleeding out. Seeing the woman he loves dying, the clumsy teenager finally becomes a true superhero. Fueled by pure rage, Rick marches straight through the flying blades. He reaches Lou's machine, but he doesn't destroy it. He reverses the energy flow. He channels the machine's life-giving power directly into Jill, healing her wounds and bringing her back from the edge of death. But Lou is still seconds away from immortality. With one final surge of superhuman strength, Rick punches straight through the reactor core. A massive explosion obliterates the machine and the supervillain with it. The blast throws Rick and Jill off the edge of the building. As they fall through the sky, Jill grabs Rick's hand. She feels the metal. She looks down. It's the ring, the exact same ring Rick Riker always wears. In that split second, she understands everything. The fearless superhero who just saved her life was the invisible, awkward boy she ignored every single day. Being a hero isn't about having a perfect suit or knowing how to use your powers without breaking everything. It's about standing up when it matters most, even if you accidentally beat up the Dalai Lama along the way. That was the insane, hilarious, and chaotic journey of the Dragonfly. If you loved this deep dive, hit the like button and subscribe for more epic recaps. See you in the next one.